Welcome to week 11, Designing Facilitating Powerful Workshops. Here's this week's assignment. I want you to watch the webinar, Navigating Difficult Situations, Part 2. You did Part 1 last time. This is Part 2. Complete the related activities using all the worksheets in the webinar handout. And I want you to pay particular attention to a couple sections on responding at Step 6. So the concept of address. What are your intentions as you then choose to select which tools you want to use? And then pairs, my skill set of 5 different skills. We talked about panning last week. Now I want you to add asking questions, interrupting, relating in, and sharing your feelings, your thoughts, your observations, a story. So really pay attention to pairs and address. Then I want you to continue reading my book, Turn the Tide, chapters 4 to 7. And really plan on finishing the book that next week, week 12. And then you're going to have some journaling reflection activities. First, I want you to identify about 5 workshop situations that are difficult and triggering for you. Again, you can use the book, the worksheets from that to identify them, the unproductive meeting, workshop behaviors, whatever you want to use, or just your own life experience. And they can be real ones you've experienced or ones you anticipate happening. And then I want you to use the worksheet, Common Unproductive Reactions During Triggering Moments. And I want you to identify in each of those 5 situations, did you or might you respond in any of those 4 Fs, fight, flight, freeze, or flounder? And then reflect on what could be unproductive about each of those different responses for you. And then I want you to take that worksheet on pairs and identify at least one tool from each of the 5 skill sets for each difficult situation. So difficult situation A, someone is telling a really powerful story, happens to be a person of color, and a white person interrupts and says, that happens to me too, it has nothing to do with race. So how could you use panning? What question could you ask either the white person interrupted or the person of color who was interrupted? Any of those will interrupt the situation, but there might be other ways to interrupt it. How could you relate in, particularly the white person and or the person of color who got interrupted? And what tools could you use to share either your feelings, the impact on the moment, this time you did something similar? So I want you to take each of these 5 workshop situations and use all 5 skill sets of pairs for each one. My hope is that will help you get pairs in you so it becomes more natural. I then want you to review a couple more handouts, engaging skills, which is right after pairs, and then steps to engage difficult dialogues. And as you're looking at those, what I want you to do is think about which ones do you already use, which ones might you want to practice and add to your toolkit, and are there any that you've got questions about, wondering how participants will respond if you do it the way I wrote it or even a variation of it, and particularly given your group memberships and or the organizational context. Because again, all these strategies I'm offering may not work in any context, every situation, and given your group memberships, you might be, I can't do that, given particularly if you have multiple marginalized identities. As always, I want you to keep thinking about how to apply these various facilitating techniques and strategies historically as well as something that's coming up. And all your questions, just send them to me or put them in the forum, because I'm having a blast in these open Q&A calls where I answer some of them as well as in our forums when we show up in the open call that's just for us. Again, send me any questions you have, and if you have questions about the course, feel free to email me. Have a good week.